This is the story of Bella, a 40-year-old teacher and mother from Ohio, whose life took an unimaginable turn one ordinary afternoon. After a sudden medical emergency, Bella flatlined and found herself crossing into a realm she never thought existed. There, she says, she met Jesus, who revealed truths about life, death, and the resurrection that left her in awe and fear. Most shocking of all was what she learned about our resurrection bodies, perfected forms that connect the physical and spiritual in ways she never imagined. Bella's journey will challenge your beliefs and leave you questioning what comes next. Bella's day started like any other. The autumn sun streamed through her kitchen window as she made breakfast for her two kids. After dropping them off at school, she ran errands, groceries, a stop at the pharmacy, and a quick chat with a neighbor about an upcoming school fundraiser. Life was busy but routine, just the way she liked it. She was putting groceries away when it happened. Out of nowhere, Bella felt an intense pressure in her chest. It wasn't sharp pain, but a crushing sensation that made it hard to breathe. She tried to shake it off, thinking it might be stress or dehydration, but within moments, her legs gave way, and she collapsed on the kitchen floor. Her husband, Mark, found her minutes later. "Bella," he shouted, dropping to his knees and shaking her gently. She was unresponsive, her face pale, and her breathing shallow. Panicking, he called 911, his voice trembling as he begged the dispatcher to hurry. Paramedics arrived and worked tirelessly to revive her as they rushed her to the hospital. But in the ambulance, Bella's heart stopped. While the medical team fought to bring her back, Bella's journey into the afterlife began. When Bella opened her eyes, she wasn't in the ambulance or the hospital. At first, she didn't know where she was. Everything around her was bathed in an ethereal light, not blinding but warm and enveloping, like a comforting embrace. The air felt alive, humming with a peaceful energy she couldn't describe. Bella realized she wasn't standing in the traditional sense. She was floating, weightless and unburdened. Her physical pain was gone, replaced by a profound sense of calm. She looked around and saw no walls, no ground, just an infinite expanse of light. Then she noticed a presence. It wasn't a person in the way we understand people, but it was undeniably alive. The presence radiated love and understanding. And as it came closer, Bella realized who it was. Jesus stood before her, his eyes filled with a love so powerful it brought her to tears. "Welcome, Bella," he said, his voice both gentle and commanding. "There is much to show you." Jesus extended his hand, and as Bella took it, she felt an overwhelming sense of peace. His touch wasn't physical, yet it resonated through her entire being. It was as if every fear, regret, and doubt she had carried her whole life melted away in an instant. "Why am I here?" Bella asked, her voice trembling. "You've come to see," Jesus replied, "to understand what awaits and to carry this message back." As they walked, or perhaps floated, through the light, Jesus began to show Bella moments from her life. She saw her happiest times, the birth of her children, her wedding day, and moments of laughter shared with friends and family. But she also saw the times she had struggled, moments of anger, fear, and doubt. "These moments matter," Jesus said, his gaze kind but firm. "Every choice, every action, leaves a mark. You are here to see how those marks ripple outward." Bella felt a mix of awe and sorrow as she realized how deeply her actions, both good and bad, had impacted others. Yet Jesus' presence reassured her, reminding her that life is not about perfection, but about growth and love. Now Jesus said, "Let me show you what is to come." The light around them shifted, and Bella found herself in a place unlike anything she had ever seen. It was a garden, but not like the gardens on earth. The colors were more vibrant, the air more alive, and every blade of grass and flower seemed to hum with energy. Walking through the garden were people, but they were transformed. Their bodies were radiant, glowing with a light that seemed to come from within. They moved with grace and strength, their faces filled with peace and joy. Bella couldn't help but stare in awe. "These are resurrection bodies," Jesus explained. "Perfected forms that are neither bound by pain or limited by time." Bella realized these bodies were not just spiritual, they were physical, yet they transcended the limitations of earthly life. She saw a man lifting a child with ease, his body strong and agile. She saw a woman running through a field, her laughter echoing like music. Every movement seemed purposeful, every action filled with love. "These bodies are a reflection of the soul," Jesus said. "They are designed for eternity." After revealing the resurrection bodies, Jesus turned Bella's attention to the earth. She expected to see the familiar world, scared by pollution and conflict. But what she saw took her breath away. It was earth, but it was renewed, vibrant, whole, and thriving. She saw rivers so clear they sparkled like diamonds, forests stretching endlessly, and cities designed in harmony with nature. There were no signs of war, poverty, or destruction. Instead, there was peace, true, lasting peace. "This is what awaits when all is made new," Jesus said. "It is the fulfillment of the promise." Bella saw people working together, their lives intertwined with creation. Farmers tended fields with care, scientists collaborated on breakthroughs, and children played freely in the streets. There was no division, no fear, only love and purpose. In one particularly moving scene, Bella saw people of all backgrounds gathered in a circle, sharing food and stories. It wasn't just a meal, it was a celebration of unity, a reminder that humanity's strength lies in its ability to come together. As Bella watched, she felt a profound sense of hope. "Is this real?" she asked. "It is the future," Jesus replied, "if humanity chooses it." Jesus continued to guide Bella through visions of a restored earth. She saw breathtaking landscapes where nature and humanity coexisted in perfect harmony. Oceans that had once been polluted now teemed with vibrant marine life. Cities, once marred by chaos and overpopulation, were now beacons of community and innovation. Skyscrapers and homes were designed to blend seamlessly with the natural world, powered by renewable energy and surrounded by flourishing greenery. Bella noticed how the people living in this renewed world carried themselves. They moved with a sense of purpose, their faces calm and filled with joy. They worked together, their efforts focused on nurturing the planet and supporting one another. She saw farmers tending their fields, their connection to the land deeper and more spiritual than she had ever imagined. Children played without fear, their laughter filling the air like music. "This is what happens when humanity chooses love," Jesus said. "The earth reflects the hearts of its people. When they care for it and each other, it flourishes." Bella felt overwhelmed by the beauty of what she saw, but Jesus' voice reminded her that this future wasn't guaranteed. "This is possible," he said, "but it requires effort and faith. Humanity must choose to walk the path of unity and stewardship." Jesus then turned Bella's attention inward, showing her the profound weight of individual choices. The light around them shifted again, and Bella found herself watching scenes from her own life unfold like a movie. She saw moments of kindness and selflessness, comforting her students, caring for her family, and offering help to a neighbor in need. Each of these acts glowed with a radiant light, their effects rippling outward to touch more lives than Bella had ever realized. But then came the harder moments. She saw times when she had acted out of frustration or fear. Words she had spoken in anger, even if forgotten by her, lingered in the hearts of those who heard them. She saw a moment when she had ignored a struggling friend, too preoccupied with her own worries to notice their pain. "These choices matter," Jesus said. "Every action, no matter how small, plants a seed. Some grow into love and light, while others sow division and pain." Bella felt a pang of regret, but Jesus' gaze was filled with compassion. "Do not despair," he said. "You are here to learn, not to be condemned. The past cannot be changed, but the future is shaped by what you choose from this moment forward." Bella felt a sense of responsibility but also hope. She realized that her life, even with its imperfections, had the power to create beauty and change. The light shifted again, and Bella found herself in what felt like a heavenly city. It wasn't a city of glass towers and crowded streets. It was a place of perfect harmony and connection. The buildings were radiant, glowing with a light that seemed to emanate from within, and the air buzzed with a sense of peace and purpose. The people in this city were unlike any Bella had ever seen. They came from every nation, every culture, and every walk of life, yet they moved as one, their differences celebrated rather than dividing them. Bella noticed that their faces glowed, not with physical beauty but with the joy and love they carried in their hearts. "This is the community of heaven," Jesus said. "It is what I have always desired for humanity, to live as one, united by love and faith." Bella saw people sharing meals, working together on creative projects, and lifting one another up in moments of need. There was no competition, no jealousy, only a profound sense of belonging and mutual respect. Each person seemed to understand their role, their unique contribution to the greater whole. "This is what earth can reflect," Jesus said, "if people choose to see each other as I see them." As Bella marveled at the beauty of heaven's community, she noticed something peculiar. There was no sense of time. People moved with purpose, yet there was no rush or urgency. The moments flowed together seamlessly, as if past, present, and future were all happening at once. Jesus explained, "Time here is not like it is on earth. It is not linear. It is eternal. Everything connects, and nothing is wasted." Bella struggled to understand at first, but as she watched, it began to make sense. She saw her own life, not as a series of disconnected events, but as a tapestry woven together with purpose. The struggles she had faced, the joys she had experienced, and even her mistakes were all threads that contributed to the beauty of the whole. "Your life is part of a greater story," Jesus said. "Every moment has meaning, even if you cannot see it now." This revelation transformed Bella's perspective. She realized that the hardships she had endured weren't meaningless. They were part of her growth, shaping her into the person she was meant to be. She felt a profound sense of gratitude, even for the struggles, knowing they had played a role in her journey. Finally, Jesus showed Bella a vision of Israel, a land she had only seen in pictures and heard about in the news. She stood on the streets of Jerusalem, its ancient stones glowing with a light that seemed to hold the weight of history. She saw people praying at the Western Wall, their hands pressed against the time-worn stones as they poured out their hearts in faith. "This land has always been central to my plan," Jesus said. "It is a symbol of faith, resilience, and the hope of restoration." Bella was shown moments from Israel's past, its triumphs, its struggles, and its survival against impossible odds. She saw leaders like Benjamin Netanyahu working to protect the nation, while navigating challenges that were both political and spiritual. She also saw the future, a vision of Israel as a beacon of unity and peace, its influence extending far beyond its borders. "This is not just about one nation," Jesus said. "It is about humanity's journey toward redemption. Israel's story is a reflection of the greater story I am writing for all people." Bella felt a deep connection to what she was seeing. She realized that Israel's struggles and triumphs were not just its own. They were part of a shared human experience, a reminder of the strength that comes from faith and perseverance. As the vision of Israel faded, Jesus turned to Bella with a look of infinite compassion. "Now you must understand the power of forgiveness," he said. With those words, the light shifted, and Bella found herself back in scenes from her own life. She saw moments she had buried deep in her memory, times when she had been wronged and had chosen to hold on to the pain instead of letting it go. In one scene, Bella watched herself arguing with her sister. Harsh words were exchanged, and the two drifted apart, each too proud to apologize. Bella had carried resentment for years, justifying it by replaying the hurtful things her sister had said. But now, she saw the hurt in her sister's eyes, the regret her sister had carried silently. Bella realized that her unwillingness to forgive had not only hurt her sister, but had weighed down her own heart as well. Jesus showed her the ripple effects of unforgiveness. She saw how it influenced her relationships, creating distance and mistrust where there could have been love and connection. But then he showed her something else, a vision of what could happen if she chose to forgive. Bella saw herself calling her sister, apologizing for her part in the argument, and offering a fresh start. She saw their relationship mended, their laughter and closeness returning. Jesus' voice was gentle as he said, "Forgiveness is not about excusing what was done. It is about freeing yourself and others from the chains of pain." Bella felt a weight lift from her soul. She realized that forgiveness wasn't just an act of kindness. It was a gift that healed both the giver and the receiver. After the lesson on forgiveness, Jesus led Bella into a realm that seemed to radiate warmth and light. "This," he said, "is the essence of everything: love." Bella felt the air around her thrum with an energy that was both overwhelming and comforting. It wasn't just an emotion, it was a force, a presence, and the foundation of everything she had seen and experienced. Jesus explained, "Love is not just something you feel. It is something you do, something you create, and something you become." He showed Bella moments from her life where love had been the driving force, times when she had comforted her children, helped a struggling student, or simply smiled at a stranger. These acts, though small, glowed with an eternal light. Jesus explained that every act of love creates ripples that touch more lives than we can imagine. Then, he showed her moments when love had been withheld, times when fear, anger, or indifference had kept her from reaching out. These moments didn't carry the same light, but Jesus didn't show them to shame her. Instead, he showed them as opportunities for growth. "Love is a choice," he said. "Choose it in every moment, and you will see its power to transform not just your life, but the lives of everyone around you." Next, Jesus showed Bella a vision of the world as it is today. She saw families torn apart by conflict, communities fractured by mistrust, and nations divided by greed and power struggles. The scenes were painful to watch, and Bella felt her heart grow heavy with the weight of humanity's divisions. "These divisions are not my will," Jesus said. "They are born of fear, pride, and misunderstanding, but they can be healed." He showed her what happens when division is left unchecked, how it erodes relationships, weakens communities, and leads to chaos. But then, he shifted the vision, showing her what was possible when people chose unity instead of division. Bella saw neighbors helping neighbors, regardless of their differences. She saw leaders prioritizing collaboration over competition, and nations coming together to address global challenges like poverty and climate change. The light in these scenes was unmistakable, a reminder that unity is not just a lofty ideal. It is a choice that brings life and healing. "Division is easy," Jesus said. "It requires no effort. But unity is a higher calling, one that demands courage, humility, and love." After the warning about division, Jesus turned Bella's attention to a vision of Israel and America working together. She saw the two nations as partners, their shared values of faith, resilience, and freedom creating a foundation for collaboration. In the vision, Bella saw Israel as a light to the nations, its history and culture serving as a testament to the power of faith and perseverance. She saw America as a bridge, using its resources and influence to support efforts that fostered peace, innovation, and unity across the globe. Jesus showed her leaders from both nations, working together on initiatives to address global challenges like hunger, conflict, and environmental restoration. Bella saw farmers in Israel sharing water conservation techniques with their counterparts in America, and scientists from both nations collaborating on medical breakthroughs. "This partnership reflects my vision for humanity," Jesus said. "It is not about power or dominance. It is about lifting each other up and walking together in faith and love." Bella felt a deep sense of hope as she watched the two nations working in harmony. She realized that this vision wasn't just about Israel and America. It was about the potential for all nations to come together in unity and purpose. Finally, Jesus returned to the topic that had left Bella in awe: resurrection bodies. He explained that these bodies were a gift designed to reflect the harmony between the physical and spiritual realms. They were not bound by the limitations of earthly life, but were still deeply connected to the essence of each person. Jesus showed Bella a vision of herself in her resurrection body. It was her, but more radiant, more alive. She moved with ease and grace, her body perfectly aligned with her soul. There was no pain, no weariness, only a sense of wholeness and purpose. These bodies are not just a restoration, Jesus said. They are a transformation, a reflection of who you were always meant to be. Bella saw others in their resurrection bodies, each one unique and beautiful. A painter's hands glowed with creativity, a musician's voice resonated with power, and a farmer's movements radiated strength and connection to the earth. Each body was a masterpiece, a testament to God's infinite creativity and love. Bella felt a profound sense of gratitude for this promise. She realized that the resurrection wasn't just about escaping death. It was about stepping into a life that was fuller, richer, and more beautiful than she could have ever imagined. Jesus turned to Bella with a serious expression, the warmth in his gaze now mixed with urgency. "There is something you must understand," he said. "The beauty you've seen is not guaranteed. Humanity must remain vigilant, or it can all be lost." The light around them shifted, and Bella was shown a vision of what happens when people grow complacent. She saw communities that had once been thriving fall into neglect, their bonds weakened by selfishness and apathy. Neighbors who once worked together began to drift apart, focusing only on their own needs. Acts of kindness became rare, replaced by indifference. In one striking scene, Bella saw a farmer ignoring his fields, assuming the fertile soil would continue to produce without care. The land grew barren, and the once flourishing community that depended on his harvest began to crumble. Jesus explained that the same principle applies to human relationships, faith, and love. "Complacency is the silent destroyer," he said. "It allows division, fear, and mistrust to take root. Love and unity must be nurtured continually, like a garden." Bella felt a deep sense of responsibility as she watched. She realized that the future of humanity depended on the choices people made, not just grand decisions, but the small, everyday acts of love and stewardship that built a foundation for hope. The scene shifted, and Bella found herself in a classroom filled with children. Their laughter and energy were infectious as they worked together on projects and shared their ideas. Jesus explained, "Education is one of the greatest tools for unity and understanding." Bella saw teachers who weren't just instructing their students on academics, but also teaching empathy, collaboration, and critical thinking. In one scene, a teacher encouraged a group of children to solve a problem together. At first they argued, their differences creating tension. But as they listened to one another, their perspectives shifted, and they found a solution that none of them could have achieved alone. Then Jesus showed her a vision of adults engaging in dialogue. Town hall meetings where people with opposing views sat together and shared their stories. At first, the conversations were tense, but as people began to listen without judgment, barriers fell. Bella saw a community transform through the power of understanding. Education and dialogue are the keys to breaking down walls, Jesus said. They create bridges where there were once divides. Bella realized that every conversation was an opportunity to foster connection. She understood that true change begins with listening, learning, and choosing to see the humanity in others. After showing Bella these powerful lessons, Jesus turned to her with a look of tender compassion. "Your time here is not yet finished," he said. "You must return and share what you have seen." Bella felt a pang of resistance. The peace and beauty of this realm were so profound that she didn't want to leave. She couldn't imagine returning to the chaos and pain of earth. But Jesus reassured her, his voice filled with love. "You have a purpose, Bella. Your story will touch lives and inspire change." With those words, Bella felt herself being pulled backward, as though through a tunnel of light. The warmth and serenity of the afterlife began to fade, replaced by the cold sterility of a hospital room. She gasped for air, her chest heaving, as her consciousness returned to her physical body. Her husband, Mark, was at her side, his eyes brimming with tears. "Bella," he cried, gripping her hand. "You're back." The doctors and nurses around her looked astonished, whispering about her miraculous recovery. Bella's body felt weak, but her spirit was stronger than ever. She knew she had been given a second chance, and she was determined to make it count.